The flare gybe might be one of the coolest ways to turn around. It's really just a bit of fun, but can be useful when you're trying to pivot on the spot and can be helpful if you're trying to avoid losing any ground. I will sometimes do this on smaller boards if it's lighter winds, as I sometimes prefer doing this to attack as it can be easier. So here it is, the flare gybe. Right, here I'm heading across the wind in the standard sailing position. The first thing I do is to put my back hand a bit further down the boom towards the clew of the sail. This gives me more control over the sail. You now want to sink the tail and raise the nose of the board out the water, so you'll want to step back. I'll typically have one foot behind the other in a kind of switch stance, but you can have just both feet at the tail of the board. Next, steer away from the wind by leaning the rig towards the wind and towards the nose of the board. Keep the rig in this position as the board spins. If you have the power of the sail in the right place, you should spin pretty smoothly. As your board is now facing the new side and you're on the new tack, step forwards up towards the UJ and the centre of the board. Once you have stabilised, place your front hand close to the mast, flip the rig and sail away. So right here I was using the Mistral Lavu. It's 12 foot long, so the bigger the board, the easier it is to stay stable, but can be slightly trickier to sink the tail unless you're a bit heavier like me. You may find you need to go even further back than I did. The smaller the board, the less effort you need to put into sinking the tail, and if your board is much smaller, make sure the power stays constant through the turn, or you could find yourself falling out the back. So see how far you can push it, see how far you can sink the tail, see how high you can lift the nose while staying balanced the whole way through, see how quickly you can pivot round, and just really have some fun with it.